Before we get into today's video, if you're new, you like the NBA, high school, college, any level of basketball really, so really if you like basketball in general, feel free to like and subscribe if you haven't already. It doesn't take too much and it helps a lot. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. But with that being said, let's talk about Jayson Tatum and why I believe he's a Boston superstar, and also talk about what I think he's good at and what I think he needs to improve on. Jayson Tatum was the third overall pick in the 2017 NBA draft at Duke, and this year he's averaged 23.6 points a game, 7.1 rebounds per game, 2.9 assists per game, shot 44.8% from the field, 39.8% from 3, and I shot 80.6% from the free throw line. And honestly, he's our franchise player. I don't think a lot of Celtics fans would debate that. And even if they would debate that, I don't think they can debate that he's our best player. Even with Kemba Walker on the team, I feel like Jayson Tatum just does more for you offensively and more for you defensively as well. And with Jayson Tatum, we all kind of expected this. I'm not going to be the first to say, oh, I'm so surprised with this. We expected this at Tatum. I expected this by now. I wasn't surprised by his development, honestly. Some people were disappointed by his second season. They had a right to be disappointed by his second season because of the expectations, because of how great he was in the playoffs in his rookie year going into his second year. Yeah, I understand that, but statistically at least, I believe that Jayson Tatum was fine. I believe that Jayson Tatum was, 15, 6, 45, 37, 85. I thought that was fine for his second year. And then in his third year, he developed into that also. And part of that is because of Kyrie Irving leaving. I also think it has something to do with Terry Rozier and Marcus Morris leaving as well. Now, on another note, what do I think Jayson Tatum can be? And I believe Jayson Tatum could be the best player on a contender in the future. I think that is his ceiling. Because, he's great offensively and he could be great defensively. I think this is a guy who can be all NBA defense, basically, as I kind of choke up my words there. But other than that, he isn't perfect though. I would say there are areas of his game where he needs to improve, because while he's a great player and I think he's going to be a superstar, I think he's going to be one of the 10 best guys in the league once he hits his prime, and I think at his peak he could be a top 5 guy in the league. There are some areas I do think not necessarily he's bad at, but he needs to improve on. And the one that sticks out to me the most is his mid-range shooting. His mid-range stats are up across the board. From the 3 to 10 foot range, those stats are up. The 10 to 16 range, those stats are up. And the 3-point line, 16 area, that is also up. So they're up, but I do think he can improve on them. I would like to see them all at least 45% from the mid-range area, considering, how much of his shots come from that area. About 27% of his shots come from the mid-range area. So that is something I do think he needs to improve on a little bit, because he shoots 38% from 3 to 10, 40% from 10 to 16, and shoots around 37% from the 16 to 3-point line. I would like to see those all up at about 45%. I think he will improve on that, but it's not as much of a concern because of how good of a 3-point shooter is. Almost 40% from 3 on 7 attempts, which is really good for a small forward. And also, it's great what he's doing because across the board he's becoming more of a shot creator for himself, and because a less amount of his 2-point field goals and 3-point field goals are assisted on. In fact, his 2-point field goal percentages are down slightly for the amount that are assisted on. He had 49.7% of his 2-point field goals assisted on last season. This season he's had only around 43.4%, and the 3-point field goals, the amount that were assisted on has dropped significantly. It has gone from 85.3% of his 3-point field goals being assisted on to around 55.7% of his field goals from 3-point range assisted on. So again, those numbers are going down, which means he's creating more shots off the dribble for himself, which is good because it's not necessarily a case of he's taking less shots and these numbers are going down. He's taking more shots and these numbers are going down, and he's still remaining relatively efficient as a scorer. So again, that is something that is really good. He shoots around 56.2% for his true shooting percentage, which I think is a much better indicator of someone's efficiency rather than regular field goal percentage. I think that and effective field goal percentage are just better indicators of a player's true efficiency than straight up field goal percentage sometimes. And again, minus some mid-range problems, the only other thing I could think he could possibly improve on is being a better playmaker. And this necessarily isn't something that I feel like he needs to improve on much. I think he's a very capable passer. I just think he is much more of a scorer-first guy, and that's okay, because that's really what his forte is. It was his forte coming out of college. He was considered the best scorer, probably the best scoring wing. I would say it was a debate really between him and Markelle Fultz for who was going to be the best scorer in the 2017 draft. But overall, he was definitely the best scoring wing. Had the most in his bag. He has a deep bag of tricks that he has. Athletic, rebounds well. All Duke players rebound well, by the way. Especially if you're a Duke player and you play like 3 through 5, you're a good rebounder. They all like to rebound. They all can rebound really well. That's just something getting off topic. But again, the playmaking, if he improves on it and gets to 5 assists per game to 2 to 3 turnovers per game and have it at that ratio, I think that could push him into maybe top 3 players in the league in the future. If he's putting up 38 and 5 on really good efficiency, plays great defense, and makes all defensive teams, makes an all-NBA team, I think that's a real serious case for a top 3 player. I don't know if he will. I see him much closer to 4 assists per game to 3 turnovers per game at its best, but it is something to think about. But again, I believe once he hits his prime, and maybe 2 or 3 years, we might be talking about him as a top 10 player in the league. I think at his peak, he's a top 5 player in the league and could be the best player on a team that wins a title. And I think Boston's well on their way. And I can't predict right away if the Celtics will win a title. It's very possible they do. It's very possible they don't. We can't predict the future. Look what's going on in the world right now. But I am confident in saying that Jayson Tatum will be the best player on a contender if he isn't already the best player on a contender and he's only 21 years old. Not my bad. He's actually 22. Man, can you believe he's only 22 years old? If you made it to this point in the video, thank you so much. It means so much to me, guys. You guys don't understand. But again, thank you. Like and subscribe if you're new. Feel free to leave feedback in the comments section below. And I'll see you guys in the next video.